Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. On this channel, we talk Kanye West, and reports are starting to come out that Ye is dating Julia Fox. I didn't make a video on it right away when they just were seen out together because it's, a first date. Who knows what will happen, but they're now traveling together on a second date, so it felt worthwhile at this point to at least go over the initial timeline and also do a little bit of an introduction into who Julia Fox is. For those of you who are unfamiliar, may not be filmies, is that the word that I want to use? No, movie people. May not be movie people and have seen Uncut Gems. So a little bit of backstory. So this was the beginning of it, right? Just a couple days ago, Kanye date night in Miami, embracing the single life, and you see photos of Ye out with Julia Fox, them at dinner, and they were at the Carbone restaurant in Miami, which this is going to come up again in a different city. But there are just some initial photos of them together, right? And then people weren't sure because the next day Ye was seen at his Miami apartments on the balcony with a completely different woman. But then later, photos of Julia Fox on the same balcony emerged, and it was just like, what is going on there? There are just a ton of people. But now the two of them have been seen off in New York City. So we'll get to that in a second. Julia kind of burst into the public eye in 2019 with Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems was heralded as one of the best movies of 2019, and it's something that people have said is one of the best movies of the 21st century, just in terms of how much stress it puts on you. The performance from Adam Sandler, just the story, the direction from the Safdie brothers, great film. But Julia Fox definitely is a really great character in the movie, brings a lot of energy and intensity, and you're kind of like, who is she? Have I seen her in something? And no, you haven't. This was her first feature film. Like, she had just been in a short the year before, and then in the aftermath did a music video and a couple other things. She was recently now in this movie, No Sudden Move, which is a Steven Soderbergh movie, which is kind of a big deal to be in a Soderbergh movie. Maybe not as big of a deal as it was like 15 years ago, but still a pretty big deal. You can see the cast that he gets together, right? Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, David Harbour, John Hamm, like Kieran Culkin, Brendan Fraser, like pretty great lineup, and Julia got to be part of that as well. There's this article from 2020 in the aftermath of Uncut Gems being the success that went into a little bit about Julia. And I thought this might shed some light on why Ye and Julia might be connecting so much. So you can see here this article by, what's that say? Kitty Robson goes, for many, a new decade is all about For many, a new decade is all about beginnings, and if there's someone who personifies that drive for change, it's Julia Fox. A polymath for the new age, she has lived many lives in her 29 years on the planet. An artist, a designer, a photographer, a model, a dominatrix, a director, and now an actor. So Ye loves movies. Like, he loves movies. Movies might be one of his favorite things of all time. He also has talked about, really liking porn. So the idea that Julia has been a dominatrix is probably something that fascinates Ye as well. Model, photographer, designer, all of these things are in Ye's wheelhouse. From the designing, we know that he's really into photography and just art as well. So the fact that Julia has these similar interests that line up, I'm sure there's a lot of conversations to be had as they compare notes about, oh, do you like this piece? What about this show? Did you go to this show? Julia was also born in Italy. She's Italy-born, Manhattan-raised. So we know that Ye has had a soft spot for Italy for a lot of his life, and for a lot of his musical career, not his life. I don't think in Chicago he's necessarily dreaming about Italy in the same way, but ever since he's been able to buy Gucci and all of that, going to Italy, doing his internship and everything, you can imagine there's some connectivity there as well. So taking her own advice, Julia has scratched every creative itch she's gotten and hustled her way through it all, manifesting dreams into realities. This article is very informative, but it's also just dolloping on the praise. It's just like a lot of hyperbole here. Julia grew up with little supervision and so made up her own narrative from the get-go. I think the hustler mentality comes from an instinct, a survival mechanism. She muses, I've just always been like that. Even as a child, I was pretty much left to my own devices. I had to figure out how I was going to live, so for me, that's where hustling stems from. It's no wonder then that New York directing duo the Safdie brothers saw Julia as their hometown go-getter for their newest project. Having met almost a decade ago when Josh and Benny Safdie first began work on the script for Uncut Gems, the supporting role of Julia was perfectly suited for the real-life version. Have you been spying on me? In real life, Julia joked. 160 screenplay drafts, one Martin Scorsese executive producing credit, and one Adam Sandler casting later, it looked less likely that Fox would get her chance. But after killing a studio screen test opposite Sandler, the role was hers. I never thought acting was an option for me. I mean, I was like, what am I going to do? Go and become a famous actor? Yeah, right. But of course, the hustle life continued. So it talks about Uncut Gems a little bit, and then Julia Fox called upon her past lives as a New York club kid and rising designer to create a backstory. She also had a fashion line that she debuted, I think, back in like the 2013, 2014 time period. So designer, that's where that came in. But I was definitely channeling a younger version of myself. Remembering who I was in 2012 really fit that character. I had a fashion line which I was hustling and trying to get all the celebrities to wear. There may be similarities between the two and the role may have been written for her, but Julia's life as a multi-hyphenate makes her much harder to pin down. Moving from her early days in a Catholic household to spending her late teens as a dominatrix, Julia's had a paradox of an existence. The move from repression to autonomy is not an easy one, and as the actor explains, she once struggled with her esteem. In Catholic culture, I think you feel innately guilty, but I think not being ashamed empowers you. I think there's so much shame around a woman's body, feeling like we're responsible for other people's reactions to women's bodies, but there are bodies. I'm not responsible for other people's reactions to me. It is this empowerment which has allowed Julia Fox to become the iconic hustler she is today, doing whatever she wanted until she found her one true calling in cinema. So just getting into all of that. But yeah, I'm sure that idea of the mix of religion and freedom and religion and empowerment and conservatism and empowerment is really in line with where Ye is going to in terms of diving deeper into his expression of religion, right? And how much he is staying close to the Bible and the traditional teachings of the Catholic or Christian church versus things he's doing on his own and the way he's going about things on his own. It's something that you hear him talk about in a song like Hands On, right? Or even how he was talking, I think it was in an interview in 2020, he mentioned how, you're not allowed to be angry when you're a Christian. They tell you can't be angry. He's like, but in the Bible, there's righteous anger all the time. Like, I can be angry. Like, I can do these things. I can mess up and it's okay. So Ye's also like finding his own definition for religion. So yeah, just some interesting overlaps. So here was Julia. We saw Ye at the Miami Balenciaga store. That was something that happened before the new year. And here, Julie's wearing a Miami Balenciaga shirt. And she said, thanks for the photos, page 6, since she was being spied on. Ye's like beach apartment was like back here, right? And she went to the beach with some friends and they snapped this photo of her, which looks kind of like a magazine ad. Like, this could be a Balenciaga ad. And it's just like a page 6 photo. So she was posing. And then here, this is the New York City date that happened tonight. This was just posted a couple hours ago. So Julia and Ye were out with some friends and they went and saw a play, Slave Play on Broadway, which apparently is a big show, winning a ton of awards. This is the first time I was hearing of it, but I don't hear about Broadway plays a lot. But they went, and then they went to Carbone. So they went to Carbone, Miami, and then they went to Carbone, New York City. So that's pretty funny. But you can see them like walking out, Ye wearing the Ye outfits, Julia in this pretty awesome coat, and going around. And then there was a photo of them at dinner. So right here. Which people are making comparisons to the Take Care album cover, and it really is like eerily similar, right? It's like the same head angle. It's almost the same photo angle. Ye's hand is in a similar place to Drake's hand with like the thumb going out. It's just, while Drake's alone, Ye has a woman whispering in his ear, but you still have the low lighting. So it's almost like concept versus reality. Like this is the what is it? The board that they have. Why can't I think of the term? The storyboard. This is the storyboard for the scene in the movie, and then this is the actual scene in the movie. So just kind of cool to see a little bit of an unintentional, I would imagine, comparison between the two. But we'll see. These two are now having multiple dates, going off to new cities together. We'll see what's in the mix. It might go the way that it goes for some people, and it's just like a brief connection and then they move on. But Ye is definitely exploring single life, which was something that he talked about a bit at the end of Donda, saying single life isn't so bad, talking about being free. We know that he has been trying to reconnect with Kim to get his family back, but at the same time he still continued to take steps in the direction of moving on with his own life, as Kim has seemingly entered into a longer relationship with Pete Davidson. At first you weren't sure if they were just going to be going on some dates, hanging out a little bit, but now it's been a couple months that her and Pete have been seemingly exclusive with each other. So it seems like they're at a point where they're each kind of moving off in new directions, starting new lives. So, who knows what we'll see moving forward, but it's nice to see, Ye entering into this new chapter of his life and having some fun. So that's it for this video, and until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Oh, and go watch Uncut Gems. If you haven't watched Uncut Gems, it's fantastic. So do that. Cheers.